This is the Canaan A1566I, or their 1566 Immersion ready model. This is absolutely the best Bitcoin miner for immersion mining, which is basically when you liquid cool your Bitcoin miners with this immersion oil. Hey, I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I build out a whole shed for immersion mining, and I've tested the different immersion mining systems from all of the major manufacturers. But get this. This is the best miner for immersion by far, bar none, if you have single-phase electricity. And if you have three-phase, it still may be the best solution for you. This is the best starter Bitcoin miner. It's the BitX Gamma, specifically the power mining version. They're manufacturing these open sourced Bitcoin miners. You could DIY one at home if you want, or you can grab one from them. But if you buy it from some other reseller, they're probably the ones that made it anyway. You can stack Satoshis over Wi-Fi, and if you want something bigger, but still small, check out the NerdQX++. It mines Bitcoin at nearly a whopping 5 terahash a second from the palm of your hand. I did ask them for a coupon code, best they can offer, code VoskCoin to save some coin, and I do have an affiliate link that supports the channel that I'll put down in the video description below if you want to grab one. I've wanted to get one of Canon's immersion Bitcoin miners in for years, because that's how long they've been making them. Finally, I got my grubby little hands on one. Recently I spent about $6,000 on a new immersion setup, the fog hashing C6. To say it quickly, I think the fog hashing immersion systems are the best plug and play small scale immersion mining solutions. You basically spend $1,000 per miner of additional infrastructure costs to immerse them. They also have the C2 that lets you deploy 2 miners, but if you're gonna go through all this and have enough capital or plan for expansion in the future, I don't know why you wouldn't just do the C6. You fit 6 miners in there as opposed to 4. And let's talk about that, because that's something I was pretty worried about with this Canaan miner. So this is the mining profitability projected of the device, right? Almost $13 a day in Bitcoin mining profitability at 94K BTC. Cost me a whopping $8 to run at 7.5 cents per kilowatt hour, but I'm still going to profit $4.50, right? Why mine over buy? Okay, well, I could buy $8 of Bitcoin for $8, or I could mine $12.50 of Bitcoin for $8. I have to buy the miner though. So you got to pay off the miner and then go from there. I was worried though about this device due to the power consumption. I'm on single phase, 240 voltage, 4,500 watts. My power factor is about 1. That's about 19 amps. That's a lot of amperage, okay? And when you do a standard typical fog hashing C6 setup, they white label Orion's PDUs, so you basically end up with a giant 125 amp outlet extender. It's a power distribution unit. So let's say I throw 6 of these in there. That's 27,000 watts. That's 112 amps, almost 113 amps. What's the 80% rule? See, I checked my math right there. What's the 80% rule of 125? It's 100. So we're going over that. 125 times 0.9. Actually, exactly 90% power consumption. We're really getting close to the max there. And per the device's dashboard, it actually consistently normally consumes 4,700 watts. However, I'm using the 261 terahash a second version as opposed to the 249 that you typically see on mining profitability calculators like I showed you earlier. We have an affiliate account, but more importantly, a coupon code VoskCoin to save some coin with Coin Mining Central. They deal all kinds of different units. Their pricing is always changing like all resellers. And right now, the immersion miners are out of stock, and I believe these prices will go down when stock comes in. When we head over to Canon's official shop, which they recently opened an affiliate program. I like their product, so we did open that as well. So huge shout out to them for supporting content creators, unlike say Bitmain. And you can see that they're taking futures orders for the A1566I 261 as well as the 249. 249, $3,200. 261, $4,176. These are some pretty good prices. This is a pretty good cost per hash, $16. And the efficiency on the 261 at 4,500 watts would be 17.2. But let's take the power draw from the dash there, and that puts it at about 18 watts or joules per terahash, which would be in line with what it's advertised as. We're doing some upgrades at the farm and had to shut down the service that powers the internet hub. So it shows a short uptime here, but previously this thing has had uptime well over a month. I've been running this, it's probably already 2 months now or so, and it's been flawless. Never missed a beat. And I'm telling you, when I unboxed this thing, I was just absolutely infatuated with it. It looked good. We were doing the immersion install. We were excited. The handle's already on it. There's no fans to take off. You don't need to flash any firmware. It just runs. It's just good to go out of the box. It makes deploying an immersion mining setup so quick and easy. I've been running it on the high performance mode, but it also has a different power mode. High performance good for me. I'm gonna let it eat like that. I'm not kidding when I say this, that I plan to change over my whole immersion mining farm to immersion specific models. And this is the best immersion Bitcoin miner in the world ever to date that can be used on single phase electricity. The only miners that can even be compared with this would be the Bitmain S21 immersion and S21 XP immersion. But those are typically more expensive, and my S21s all broke when I immersed them. So maybe an immersion specific model could fix that. But again, let me illustrate that I do not immerse S21 series miners, the typical air-cooled kind. Multiple S21s broke in immersion systems. My only S21 Pro broke in and out of immersion systems. So yeah, that's a no for me, dog. I know everyone's worried about tariffs. I am too. It's one of the first questions I ask when I'm trying to procure some new miners. And there's different answers across the board, but get this. So Canaan has a hub in the US. They go out of their way to get their stuff here and then ship out of that US hub. And if you ordered the 1566 immersion from them, they quote your shipping at $33, at least to me in Virginia. So you're not paying hundreds of dollars per machine to ship, which is typical in the mining game. They actually advertise it at 19 joules a terahash, which doesn't really make any sense, because if you take 4,500 divided by 261, then you get 17. And even at the 4,700, it's lower than 19. It would really be rounded to 18. Canaan's been killing it over the last year. They've sold several $1 million, at least that we know of, from their Nano 3S. Then their Mini 3 has been really well received, and their Avalon Q is a pretty interesting miner. We've got one on order. We should hopefully get it this month. 90 terahash at 1,674 watts, 18.6 joules or watts per terahash of efficiency. Air-cooled, it's supposed to be quiet. That's what the Q stands for. And they have proven that there's a huge market for small at-home Bitcoin mining that many mining manufacturers are overlooking. Obviously, I showed the power mining BitX and NerdQX++ earlier in this video. Open source Bitcoin mining hardware and software, incredibly cool. However, there's no disputing that there's a huge bang for buck in comparison with the Canaan mini miners. And they also are hitting some very interesting and unique additional markets with the Mini 3 and the Avalon Q in particular, that these are bigger mini miners, right? 90 terahash, but can still plug into basically any outlet in a US house. 37.5 terahash at 800 watts. And I have a Mini 3 and it's been great the whole time I've had it. I run it on the low power mode, which consumes only 400 watts and produces 28.5 terahash per second of Bitcoin mining hash rate. So, divided by 28, that's 14 watts per terahash, or 14 joules per terahash. That is incredibly efficient. Now I just need it to go out there and hit a Bitcoin block. My 7-day average is 71.5 terahash across all my machines. On my solo mining address, that gives me a 1 in 82,000 chance per day, or a 1 in 227 chance per year when you compound those numbers. This is Solo Luck. It's a Bitcoin solo mining calculator tool that we made. I think it's really cool. I think it's best in class, and it's something that we're very proud of here at the team. You can also click show more data and get more data. Imagine that. And it also doubles as a halving countdown. So more features, more better. Isn't that what they say? More horsepower, more better. Let's compare this if we were to solo mine with that immersion model. 1 in 22,000, 23,000 chance per day, or a 1 in 62 chance per year to earn $300,000 of Bitcoin.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
The hardest currency in the history of mankind. Or you can take the buyout of $12 of Bitcoin per day, which is $4,500 per year. The electricity bill is going to come either way you go. In all seriousness, if you're looking at doing immersion and you're looking at what miners to do, it's these hands down. Best immersion miner model. And I don't speak so boldly about many things. I say this one's really good, but this could be a good solution as well. And then there's also this thing on the horizon. No, these are the best. The end. I would love if it was easier and cheaper, really just cheaper, I guess, not all that hard at this point, to swap all of my S19s into these immersion specific models. And I think that would have cut down on multiple miners that have killed themselves in immersion fluid. In particular, the S21s and the S19 XPs do not do well in immersion. Do not immerse those. They will probably nuke themselves, especially depending on your immersion setup. Some of the other immersion setups I've used don't keep the miners as cool, and they basically just reach a point where the chips start to overheat and they break, and then it breaks the whole hash chain. It breaks the board, and the miner either loses a board or completely goes down. And some of these will also blow up their power supplies, specifically not the Canaan Immersion models. Well, that was actually a problem specific to the S21 Bitmain series. So, hey, I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is our CMO, Chief Mining Officer, Tails Vosk. We're in 10 seconds of Tails in every video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Shine.